Here we go, boys. It is time. The future is now, baby. Unique Spanish commander Pascual Cervera y Topete. A new unique commander will be added for testing. With this addition, every nation will have its own unique commander. Mm. Mm 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 mm. Mm 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 mm. The courage with he fought against forces many times superior to his aroused admiration, both the USA and he returned a national hero. Oh, national hero. Okay. Guys, remember when I was talking about this, though? Were you guys here when we were talking about how wargaming should expand the improved talents to, like, things that are... You know what I mean? I literally mentioned this. Were you guys here? This was, like, a few months ago. We reviewed a Devblog, and we talked about how they need to stop doing the same, like, 4 improved skills on ships. Look at that. They heard me. Love it. 7.5 instead of 5. This is gonna be. I mean, really, the ships that you care about, right, are gonna be Castilla and Alvaro. Now, I will say that I don't mind. I don't hate this because I do actually take heavy AP on Castilla, just because like fuck the cruisers extra hard when you burst them when they're flat. You know. Um. I mean, pointless. This could be interesting though. I think there's going to be a lot of more wiggle room, but this is ridiculous. Like I'm just going to say it right now. This can't happen. Like we cannot wargaming cannot allow it to work like this on destroyers. I think I think this is totally fine because this is like a shitty version of the Lutyens buff kind of, you know? Every 2 destroyed or assisted, you get 2.5% buff on your torps and your gun reload. So like probably on average, okay, let's see. You know what? Let's just see. Okay, so I played a few games today in Mecklenburg. How many assisted ribbons did I get? Right? So like so I would activate it twice. And obviously you keep in mind, right? It's a lot easier to get assisted ribbons in battleships, right? So like that game I got 4 total ribbons. This game I got 6. But again, remember, way easier to get assisted ribbons in battleships, right? That game was bad, but I still got 1. And then this game, did I get like 1 or 2 maybe? So like, I think on average, you're probably going to get this buff twice. So it's obviously harder to farm than the Lutyens buff, but you can also farm it by like spotting, right? I think you're probably going to average getting this activated twice. So this is like a very minor, very minuscule buff. It's it's going to be pretty unnoticeable in most of your games. But this is just retarded. But like it just can't go live. I mean honestly. Like this can't go live. Abono needs a dev strike. Yep. I mean, Abono's pretty bad. This just can't. Like, I got really no problem with this on, like, cruisers, you know? Like, on Castilla, I think this is, like, a nice little buff. You know, it's 9,000 health, which is nice. Um, there's a couple of, what, premium BBs, like Victoria. Yeah, I think that's the key, Ram. It, like, I think it either needs to be class based or it has to, like you said, it has to scale with the HP of the ship. Because, like, this captain on Alvaro will be the most broken ship captain combo in the game. I mean, there won't, that's not even up for debate. Like, there will be no ship. Like, I was saying this the other night to people in our clan, like, the only thing that I think even comes close is release Utrecht with Conrad. Like, release Utrecht with Conrad. If you farmed all the buffs, you could have like a 20-second airstrike reload on 3 drops. Like, that was pretty bad. That was pretty toxic. But, like, I mean, this is just like, it's ridiculous. I was saying the other night, it's like they forgot Alvaro is in the game. Because, like, this is nice on cruisers and battleships, right? Because in tier 10, you get 3,000 health. Every time you lose 20, you get a 75%, you get 3,000 health. You go below 50, you get 3,000 health. You go below 25, you get 3,000 health. Like, that's a nice little buff to, like, battleships and cruisers. But, like, it's also going to be really annoying because this is not like a Halsey Confederate buff or a Cunningham extra consumable buff where, like, you have to do something. Like, 40 win rate players who load up Alvaro will just be 30% harder to kill. So, like, it's gonna be mad. It's gonna be unbelievably annoying because it's a zero skill buff, right? Lose health, gain game impact. Like, there's no cooldown on the healing. There's no queuing on the healing. It's just play like an idiot, get rewarded. I mean, imagine you're playing Alvaro without this captain, and you run into a guy playing Alvaro with this captain. You just, like, you literally can't win. You just lose. You lose for free. The guy just has 30% more health than you for no fucking reason. I don't. To me, this should be 100 for destroyers, 200 for cruisers, 300 for battleships. To me, that's what this should be, or percentage HP based, like 0.5% of HP per second for 10 seconds. So, like, you would get 15. I mean, even that's, like, too much. I mean, my thing, guys, even if this was 100 and it was just because, like, these things are all so good, right? Like, if you're in a battleship and you lose half your ship, it's just an extra 6% off your heal, an extra 6% off your DCP, an extra 12% off, right? Like, losing half your health and getting away and healing back up in a battleship is pretty easy. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna nerf Alvaro. I mean, unironically, like, they would almost have to. Because, like, if you look at Spanish ships, there's so few in the game, right? Like, Alvaro's the only destroyer in high tier. Basically everything is a cruiser, and then we have one battleship. I do think this captain will be very interesting on Victoria. Because Victoria is a ship that does want to run super heavy AP. So I think this captain could be pretty interesting on Victoria. Because that cooldown buff is going to be really nice for your main battery reload booster. Because it has a 5-minute cooldown. So if you lose half your ship in Victoria, then you take like 35 seconds off the cooldown of your reload booster. Like, that's pretty good. It's actually pretty good. So, like, this captain will be pretty nice on Victoria. It'll be pretty nice on ships like Castilla and the other cruisers, but it'll just be like diabolically overpowered on Alvaro. I mean, Alvaro is a super ship with this captain. Make no mistake. This basically turns Alvaro into a super ship. And what's crazy, too, is that this shit stacks. So, like, let's say, Alvaro with a full build has, 31... It has, 31,500 health, right? Hang on. If you build for HP, 31,650, okay? Whoa, flashbanged. 31,650, okay? 31,650, right? So 75% of that is 23,700 health. But here's how this works, guys, okay? Let's say you are on 25,000 health. You know what? Let's go like even higher, okay? Because remember, 31,650. What's a quarter of that? 8,000 health, okay? So let's say you are on 28,000 health in your Alvaro, right? You're nowhere near close enough to even triggering the first time, okay? Here is how this shit works. Let's say you bought the fuck out and hit a Shimakaze torpedo, okay? So a Shima torpedo hits you dead center of your hull, which does 22,000. Whoops. You're on 28,000 HP, and you fuck up. Boom. Shima torp hits your midsection for 22k. That drops you below 1/4 of your base HP pool. You will get the 75% heal. You'll get the 50% heal. And you'll get the 25% heal. And they all happen at the same time. You get them all at the same time. And you don't even... Yeah. You don't have to do anything. You just get the health. And they don't stack next to each other. You don't get 3,000 for 10 seconds, 3,000 for 10 seconds, and 3,000 for 10 seconds. No. It doesn't take you 30 seconds to get the 9k. It takes you 10 seconds to get 9k. So, like, okay, so you're in Ishima, right? You're in Ishima, and you see an enemy Alvaro on 28,000 health. And you're like, oh my god, I'm about to hit this man with a torpedo. I'm going to open up. I'm going to open up because he's hitting a torpedo midsection and I can kill him. So you open up, the torpedo hits the enemy Alvaro player. He gets nuked down to 5,000 health, 6,000 health. And then as you open up on him, he prints 900 health per second. A literal super heal, by the way. A literal super heal. He prints 9,000 health in 10 seconds. I mean, that's probably better even than DD super heals. What's Nustra? Nustra is the only DD with a true super heal, right? Nustra and Laffy have true super heals. How much is this? Yeah, this takes 20 seconds. This has half the rate of recovery of the Alvaro potential heal. I mean, like, that shit is broken, dude. Like, if Alvaro is balanced. Listen, guys. I'm the biggest Alvaro de Bazan dick sucker. It's my favorite DD in the game. Like, I selfishly would love it to be more overpowered. But, like, this is just not it, man. This is not it. Because this is, like, passively overpowered. This is making the ship overpowered in a way that doesn't require even an ounce of skill. Like, yeah, it'll trigger 2 or 3 times at once, and the effects will stack. I mean, it is just it's outrageous. Like, this captain on Alvaro will be by far the most busted ship captain combo in the game. It's like they forgot the ship exists. Because, like, again, all these other ships, this is fine. You know? Like, that is not overpowered on any of these ships. It's nice. Like, that's going to be great to have on your Castilla. It's going to be nice to have on your Victoria. But, like, that just cannot be allowed on destroyers. And like, even if this was only 100 health, right? Even if these were only 3 1,000 health heals, like, I still just don't even agree with that. Because Alvaro, like, it fundamentally breaks what's balanced about Alvaro. You know, like, you could argue the same thing is true of the Lutein Seal, but the Lutein Seal is really hard to get. You know? The Lutein Seal is very hard to get. And I mean, obviously, I'm not even talking about, like, you're basically what you are is you're incentivized to play like a retard early game, right? Because at 31,650, if you can go down to 8K and then get 9 back, like, you can sail around on half HP with all of these buffs, right? Because, like, 9% better cooldown on DCP, 18% better. I mean, that's like a big deal, guys. Like, 18% cooldown on speed boost and smoke is kind of fucking good. Like, I'm not okay. So if I run that, like, cooldown time of 152 seconds. You know, it's 6%, right? I mean, that's pretty fucking good. That's 26 seconds off the smoke cooldown. Like, that is a big fucking deal, man. Like, just the consumable real and here's what okay, so here's something very interesting to consider, guys, okay? Do you need to run survivability on premium Captain Alvaro de Bazan? This is a serious question. Normally you always take this on everything, right? But, like, the difference is so much less now. Because now, instead of giving up 3,500 HP out of, right? Because this is 3,500 health out of 31,650. That's 11% health, right? Now you're giving it up compared to 40,650 total HP. So now you're giving up 8.5%. Because, like, this is totally nullified by one of the heals. Yeah. So obviously, like, if your goal is to just open water farm constantly and take the most amount of fights constantly, you would still run survivability. But now interesting things start to happen. Like, what if I, like, build into this, right? Because think of it this way. Your smoke reload, you can get it down to 140. Okay? You can get your smoke reload down to 140 if you take this skill. And then, if you get all of the captain buffs, you can get the smoke back in 117 seconds. And it lasts for 97 seconds. So, like, you're going to be without smoke for 20 seconds. This is daring cooldown on smoke. Like, daring gap of smoke activation. Normally, you have to wait 55 seconds. Right? You're without smoke for almost an entire minute. But now, there's like a legitimate case to be made that you give up survivability and you grab superintendent and you grab consumable specialist. And then you'll only be without smoke for 20 seconds at a time. So you'll have 2 minutes of smoke farming, no smoke for 20 seconds. And you have 4 of those, right? Like, again, this is assuming you farm you lose the health to farm it. But, like, you have so many interesting options. Yeah, smoke gem mod is terrible. You don't even take, the only reason to take smoke gem mod is if you're, like, smoke modding people. But it's always terrible. It's never worth taking. This is very interesting. I mean, we were talking the other night, like, improve Swift Fish is not a very good skill. But, like, we were talking, like, you could give up survivability and run because this is going to be improved now, right? So you could have 10.5% fire chance. I'm not even running the flags. Hang on. So, you could have 11.5% fire chance per shell. If you run these 2 flags and improve Demo Expert, that's a relative fire starting increase of almost 30%. It's like 25% more fires per minute if you build into fire starting. Now, again, the thing is, you don't take Demo Expert on Alvaro. Why don't you take Demo Expert on Alvaro? Because you can't really afford to take it. But, like, now, if you give up survivability, you can take Demo Expert and something like Consumable Specialist. Because do you really need the survivability? Also, you could almost make a case that if your goal is to, like, get the consumable reload better earlier, like, there's almost a certain logic in losing health now. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be sailing around on no HP, but, like, you could make the case that, okay, I don't take survivability, which gives me 27,000 health, and then now I only have to lose 7,800 health, and, right, I only have to get below 20k to activate my shit. Like, I feel like there's the fact that you get 9,000 health opens up a huge amount of options with your build, because you could justify not running survivability because you get 9,000 bonus health. You could justify not taking Fearless Brawler because you get 9,000 extra health, which means you don't need to kill things as quickly, right? Like, there's all of a sudden so many more options with your build because you're going to get 9,000 health and improved consumable reload, right? Like taking Superintendent on Alvaro is kind of sus. It's not that it's bad, but it's that it takes 3 minutes to use a smoke, right? 20 seconds on, 152 off. That's 172 seconds, which is basically 3 minutes, right? So, like, and the earliest you're ever going to smoke is about 2 minutes into the game. So if you hit your first smoke at 2 minutes, you hit another smoke at 5 minutes, you hit another smoke at 8 minutes. The earliest you could possibly smoke is 11 minutes into the game, assuming you smoke on cooldown every time it's possible to smoke, which you're never going to do. And so your average game only lasts like 12 minutes. So it's like, what is, do I really, right? Like an average game is like 11 to 14 minutes. So currently it's like, well, having a forced smoke on Alvaro is nice in a really long game, but in your average game, it's not that useful. But with the fact that just losing health makes your ship better, I mean, it's just crazy to think of it like that. But that is what's happening. Like your ship just gets better as you lose health. It's like it's basically what it is. It's basically if Adrenaline Rush worked on consumables. Like that, like that's effectively what this is. This is effectively just super juiced Adrenaline Rush for consumables. Which is just fucking crazy to me. I don't know, dude. I mean, I like yeah, yeah. Dive head first into enemy DD, delete it, continue your game as an AFK smoke farmer. Yeah, basically. Basically. Well, it applies to everything. I mean, that's why I'm saying it's like Adrenaline Rush for because you don't have to like you don't have to do anything. Like you just lose health. It's exactly like Adrenaline Rush. Health goes down, reload of everything increases or it gets improved. So it's basically like Adrenaline Rush applying to every button on your key, every button at the bottom of your screen. AR applies to everything at the bottom of your screen. But like it's even better than that, right? Because when you gain health, you lose AR. And this is like you get both. You get to have your cake and eat it. You know? You get to get the reload buffs while recovering some of the health you've lost. Like legitimate brain damage. And my biggest issue is that this is in my opinion there should be no defensive talents for captains. It needs to be Kuznetsov will to yeah, 3 Kuznetsov will to victories. Fuck yeah, dude. Like I defensive talents on captains are insane are innately stupid, right? Because you don't have to do anything. They're extra griefing and you don't have to do anything. Like, is it fun to fight a main with Halsey Confederate active? Absolutely not, right? Halsey Confederate is broken. It's the most broken captain ability in the game. But like the guy has to aim and hit you to benefit from Halsey Confederate. He has to shoot 6 ships for a fifth of their HP pools to get Halsey Confederate. He has to do something. Right? Like Cincinnati, the guy has to get a kill to get a buff. He has to hit 100 shells. He has to farm Confederate. Like he has to do something. But this is like you could be the worst player in the game and your boat is 30% better. Like your ship is over 30%, right? Because you're getting 9,000 health, right? You're getting 9,000 HP. Assuming you build for full survivability. 28% HP increase. So you're 28%, you require 28% more damage to be killed. But it's not just that, it's that you're also going to be less likely to be caught without smoke. You're going to be less likely to be caught on a permafire. So, like, I would argue your ship is minimum 30% more survivable. Minimum 30%. But it's not 30% more survivable if you're good. Or if you do something, you just are 30% harder to kill. Yeah, if Valparaiso had an automatic healing. I mean, I just find it like crazy. you're so immune to making a mistake. I mean, again, I'll use like the Shimakaze example. You know, if you're on 30, if you're on full HP, right? Like, just think about you're on full health, let alone the cheese. Why am I still doing that? 650. And you hit a Shima Torp midsection, right? That's 22,000 health. That'll give you 2 heals. So, like, that Shima Torp effectively only did 16,000 damage to you. It's just griefer. It's so griefer. You're gonna, like, be able to YOLO Torp like no one's business. Like, imagine this thing rushes you and you're trying to kill it when it YOLO Torps you. So a full health Alvaro is YOLO Torping your Des Moines. And, like, as you are killing him, he gets almost half of the health back. He gets a third of the health you do to him back as he tries to YOLO Torp you. Bro, this captain, imagine if I had this captain for my most recent Alvaro re-review. That would have been a 400, like, you guys watch my re-review of Alvaro, where I have the highest damage of anyone in the world without arms race, that would have been a 400,000 damage game. Like, the only, like, imagine that game. I survived that game with no HP. Imagine that game with this captain. That's a 400k game. And I'm just farming the enemy team into the dirt. So now you have, like, some options, right? You could just, you still run the same build, right? You could run the exact same build, and now you're just an open water god, because you have 9,000 bonus HP. Or you can go, like, the opposite. And you can go, okay, I don't need this because I get 9,000 bonus HP. And that's what's crazy too, right? Is that this isn't HP based. Whether you give up survivability or not, you're getting 9,000 health back. You know, so if this was percent HP based, it would at least kind of entice you to keep survivability expert, because that would give you an extra, like, 1,000 total across the 3 heals. But, like, you're just incentivized to play like a complete fucking retard. You're rewarded for playing bad. That's, like, the worst part. Is you're rewarded for playing bad, and you're heavily rewarded for playing badly. It's really okay. So can someone explain to me? Can we look at the Commonwealth captain real quick? Can you guys look at Collins with me real quick? Okay. When you're on your last gasp, you get 10% of your ship back. Which is obviously dog shit. This, like, basically never saves you, right? If you've played with this captain on Vamp 2, basically never saves you. Every 60,000 health, your ship is barely faster and your consumables have a decent buff to duration. That's it. Like, Alvaro with the premium Spanish captain gets a better talent by getting killed. By receiving damage, you get more value than a Vamp 2 does running this captain, getting 180,000 damage. If you farm this the 3 times, you're allowed to farm this 3 times. If you farm this 3 times in Vampire 2, that is, like, not as good as the Spanish captain's buff to Alvaro. And then Alvaro gets a better heal than this 3 times. Like, these captains are very similar with what they give you, right? Bonus HP, a bonus heal when you lose a certain amount of health, and then improved consumables when you farm. But in this, you have to have, like, a crazy high damage game, and in the Spanish captain, you just take damage. The Spanish captain on Daring would be like, yeah, that'd be so fucking crazy, wouldn't it? Like, I don't know, dude. I mean, obviously, if this shit goes live, I mean, my wallet's out, right? Like, my wallet and my legs are completely spread wide open. But I just, like, you can't do this. Like, Wargaming could not do this. Again, I have basically no problem with this on battleships and cruisers. I have basically no issue with it, especially on cruisers. You know, like on battleships, it's so little health, it'll probably never matter. I do think there's a bit of concern with like this shit. This can't work like this for DDs, man. Like, it can't. You know, because again, right? Like, at least the other captains, how much, okay, so here's a question. How much better is Vampire 2 with Collins than without? Okay. Well, assuming you survive, if you run Collins, your ship is like maybe 5% better, right? If you take Collins on Vamp 2, I would say your ship is about 5 to 10% better than without Collins. But if you don't die, it's like at most maybe 5% better, right? Okay. How much better is your American ship with Halsey? Okay? You're basically never going to get double strike. And so really the only value of Halsey is improved grease the gears, which is nice, improved shell feeder, which is nice. And then if you can get Confederate, obviously your ship is like 20% better, right? So in games where you get Confederate, Halsey makes your ship 20% better. And Halsey has the best buff of any captain in the game. Halsey Confederate is the best captain talent you can get in the game. And it makes your ship 20% better. You could argue these two improved skills make your ship like 1 or 2% better, right? So let's be super, super generous and say that Halsey makes your ship 25% better. But again, only if you can farm Confederate, if you're a really good player that's like maybe every other game, right? How about Luthians? Right? Like Luthians on let's use destroyers for examples, right? The Z42 with Luthians is like 5% better, right? Because you have to farm for a few minutes to get a DPM buff. You might get the heal every other game, right? So your Z42 is like probably on average 5% better with Luthians than without it, right? Your Schlieffen is probably like 5 to 10% better with Luthians than without it, right? Your Spanish, your your destroyer with Yamamoto, okay? Like, that's nice, and that's nice. That might make your ship like 2% better, but you're basically never getting a Kraken. And you're very rarely getting emergency reserves, and even when you are, most of the ships don't benefit that much from it. So, like, Yamamoto is weird because most of the time your ship, it's irrelevant, and then, like, every 50 games, your ship is a third better, right? But, like, on average, Yamamoto might make your ship, like, 3 to 5% better, right? Abono might make your ship, like, 3 to 5. This is pretty common. Sansonetti is kind of an outlier because Sansonetti, I would argue, is the biggest buff to your ship that you can get normally because it has a nice improved skill, but then it has like an obscene number of talents that you can always get. Like, you kind of do always get the range buff. And aside from Loria, you do basically always get this buff. So, like, I would argue Sansonetti makes your ship, like, solidly 10% better, and then up to 20% better if you get Confederate. So 10 to 20% for Sansonetti, right? Halsey is like 5 to 25%, and that's pretty common. Like, most captains, Conrad's probably the most powerful captain in the game right now. Cunningham on Daring can probably make your ship about 20% better than no Cunningham, right? Conrad on Utrecht can probably make your ship about 20% better than no Conrad on Utrecht, right? Like, this is pretty common. The captains typically make your ship like 5 to 20% better, but you have to do something to get the 20%, right? That's the thing, is you have to do something. Now, I think these are easy to get, but you have to get a kill. You have to get Confederate. You have to hit 100 shells, right? You have to do something. The captain passively makes your ship like 1 to 2% better, right? And all of these captains like passively make your ship a few percent better, 1 to 3% better. And then you have like the Kuznetsov heal, which on Kremlin, right? That's like a big buff, right? Like Kremlin with Kuznetsov is probably 10, just a flat like 10% better than no Kuznetsov, but it only activates when you're about to die, right? You only get it once, you know? But like, what's crazy to me is you don't have to do anything. Your ship becomes 30% better. Like this, again, remember, we're talking about on Alvaro, right? On a destroyer. Your ship is minimum 30% more survivable than without the captain. And it's a ship that's balanced on its HP pool. Right, and yeah, exactly, Ram. With Kuznetsov, like it activates when you hit 10,000 health in Kremlin, and it gives you what like 7,500 HP, which is nice, and it gives you a DCP and it gives you Dazzle. That's all great, but like if you're on 12,000 health in Kremlin and you get hit by a Montana salvo bow in at 10 kilometers, Kuznetsov does not save you. Kuznetsov really saves you against fire. Like that's kind of the big deal with Kuznetsov is you get one extra chance at life when you're burning out. That's really why Kuznetsov is super powerful. But like, you don't have to do it. You don't have to risk getting smashed down to zero, right? And Alvaro has a lot of HP, guys. Like, remember, even 25% is a decent amount of health. Like, you get the last heal at 8,000 health. Right? Vampire 2 has to get down to 2,500 HP to activate a 2,500 HP heal. So, like, you're in Vampire 2, you're on 3,000 health, and 2 Montana overpens hit you and you're dead. The heal doesn't help you. 1 Montana overpen hits you, you get back up to 4,000 health. But, like, as long as, you know what I mean? Like, you're probably always going to get. The only time you're not going to get the full 9,000 healing as you die is if you hit a torp like in the sweet spot zone. Like you're between this and 13,000 health and you hit a Shima torp midsection. Like okay, you can't survive that, but like I mean, you can hit a Holland torp in the bow on this HP pool and get 3k health back. Like I mean, this is, you know, for most battleships, this is going to represent like 6 shells, 5 or 6 shells of AP hitting you. Like, it's very, very unlikely that you are going to be in Alvaro and you're going to be between this and 13,000 health and get one shot and can't get the last heal. Like, you are always going to get the healing on your way to 0 HP. It's totally unlike the Collins and Kuznetsov last stand heals. You're just always going to get it. Like, you're going to have to hit a torp or get, like, Dev... You're going to have to get, like, borderline Dev struck to not get all the healing every game. Even on Victoria. Yeah, and I think probably even less than that, right? And that's why I have no problem with it on battleships. Yeah, like, Victoria with a standard battleship build, each heal is 10,000 health. So yeah, so all 3 of these heals on Victoria are going to represent less than 1 normal heal, right? All 3 of these heals on Castilla are going to represent like exactly 1 heal. Well, actually, again, slightly less, right? Slightly less than 1 heal, or right around 1 heal. So I have like no problem with this on the battleships and cruisers. But again, I honest to God think they just forgot this ship is in the game. Because it's only broken on Alvaro. Like, it's nice. Basically your Castilla has like Hindenburg healing. That's nice. You know, Victoria has like almost an extra heal. That's nice. You know, you're gonna get your Hydro back a bit faster. You're going to get your Eye in the Sky plane back a bit faster. It's going to be really nice on Victoria because of the reload booster, right? So like it's going to be a nice little buff on these ships, but 9,000 health on a DD. I mean, this is, you know, again, that's basically 3 heals in your daring, right? I don't think I have a captain spec. No. But there's no captain skills to improve the heal duration. So here we go. Yeah, I mean a daring heal is like worth nothing. Like, yeah, there's no way to buff the heal duration on the captain. So this is what you get. Like 5,500 more health per heal than daring gets. No, that's not true because if we ran survivability expert, this would be a bit extra. Still better than a daring heal though. So you get superintendent daring worth of healing for free. Superintendent, right? Because we would also run this, and then survivability expert would give us a bit more. So yeah, daring with superintendent healing for free on a no heal gunboat that is balanced around not having a heal. I mean, yeah, fuck it, I love it. Shut up and take my money. This is a disaster. I briefly scanned this the other day. I really hope this never enters the game. The team consumables will be a straight up disaster for this game. It's just spell casting basically. It's just really stupid, but hopefully that doesn't ever go normally live. Clan Battle 7v7 on tier 10, so I might actually play it. Because holy shit. Tier 8 Clan Battles is pure AIDS. And Septumbro is going to be Steel or Research Bureau. Probably. Wow. Wow. Okay. So, yeah. If this was just tweaked for destroyers, I'd have no problem. Right? If this was 100 for destroyers, 200 for cruisers, 300 for battle. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say that, okay? Just make it 100 for DDs. That's it. Just make it 100 for DDs. Because I actually do want this to be the same for cruisers and battleships, because then that's a better buff for cruisers than it is for battleships. That's good. I would like that. It's just out. I mean, this is diabolical. Just diabolical that you could run this shit on Alvaro. Again, we just went over the captains. I don't think there's a lot of argument. Captains passively buff your ship 1 to 5%. If you farm all of their talents, the best any captain gives you is like a 25% buff to your ship. And this is just a guaranteed 30% buff. Like, it's 28% more health. And then better consumable reload. Like, minimum your ship is 30% better. Percentage-based heals would solve it instantly. Yeah, but like, kind of, but also no, right? Because, so like, let's say you wanted to scale this. So let's say you wanted Castilla to get 9,000 healing, okay? So just like, quick little thought experiment. We wanted Castilla to get 9,000 healing, right? Well, guys, Alvaro has half this health. So, like, even if it's scaled, Alvaro with a bonus 4,500 health is still ridiculous. I mean, again, I'm going to, like, draw your attention to Collins. Like, if this is the power of the Spanish captain, why is this only 10%? And why do you have to fall to 24? You have to get below 24,500 HP to get to 2,450 health. Like, it almost never helps you, and it's not a lot of extra health, right? Like, so stupid. Like, I don't think this cat talent should exist either. I don't think the Kuznetsov talent should exist. But, like, compared to it, even if this was scaled, right? Even if this ended up being 0.5%, right? That was my example. If this was 0.5% per second for 10 seconds, so every heal was 5%, like that's still too much. Still 1,500 HP that you get for free 3 times a game with all this extra shit. Like, cutting this in half for Alvaro would be too much, in my opinion. That's just, I mean, that's just crazy. All right. We've got, okay, so they did more balance changes. We're applying balance changes to a number of ships. We have analyzed both player feedback and our own internal data. We're introducing a second round of adjustments. Moved closer. I mean, is that half a kilometer or is that 3 kilometers? That's obviously the question. Here you go. Good job, Wargaming. Good job. Okay. They figured it out. Yeah. What's hilarious about that, Gigi, is that my ridiculous suggestion for Alvaro Captain would be every kill gives you an extra salvo in the burst, and you can stack it twice. And I jokingly said that because that would have been like my fever dream, outrageously overpowered captain buff for the Spanish captain. And Wargaming said, hold my fucking beer. Like, they said, that's not broken enough, buddy. Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad way. That's actually not a bad way of looking at it either, Random. Is like, what does that. And it's actually not a bad way of analyzing captain buffs, is how many skill points do they give you, right? So, like, for Vamp 2, if you run Collins, how many bonus captain points do you get? Okay. So, if you get 120,000 damage, you get the equivalent of 2 captain skills, right? Because this gives you the same buff that this gives you, but you have to farm 120,000. So in Vamp 2, and so then you can get this a third time. So you can conceivably get the equivalent of 3 commander points, and then this is half, 2/3 of survivability. So, like, you can conceivably get 4 captain points of bonus on Vampire 2 with Collins. But you have to farm a ton of damage and you have to almost die. Right? On this fucking thing, think of the captain points that this gives you. Okay? It's really not a bad way of thinking about it. Okay? So think of the amount of captain points you get on your Alvaro. Oops. So you get 3 survivabilities worth of health, effectively, almost. So you get 8 points. That's 8 points. Okay? You then can get over double the benefit of this. So that's another 2 points. And it's guaranteed. You don't have to do anything. So you basically are getting like 10-ish captain points of guaranteed value. Just take gunfights and you will get the value. Right? And then you could also look at it as like, do you get shit over here, right? But I mean, yeah, with this captain, it's like 10 points. I mean, I can't get over it. I can't get over how ridiculous. This is obviously very good, though. So let's give Wargaming a little bit of credit. Now, unfortunately, this just does mean that you're back to square one if you just only ever run Ledge Mod. So, but we'll give Wargaming some credit. Now, part of me says not to give them credit because what's more likely, guys? Okay, I want to ask you guys: is it more likely that Wargaming realized range mod is broken and said we can't make Columbo more broken, or is it just that they didn't want people to cry about not having UU? I mean, like, the ship is still better if you play the game. So I mean, I think overall it's good. Listen. It's one of these things. So, like... Okay, the Devblog is broken. The ship is better if you play the game. Right? Because people make such... Like, here's something to keep in mind, guys. People make this really big deal about Kremlin being a shotgun at long range, but, like... Oh. But if you compare Kremlin dispersion to, like, normal dispersion, right? Here's a really good example because they have identical ranges. Soyuz and Sovrasiya is Soyuz has Soviet dispersion and this has BB dispersion, right? But, like, you have to get out to 15 kilometers to lose accuracy. So it's not like the ship is way better up close and way better at long range. Like, they're equally good at medium range, and you're slightly worse at long range. Now, this obviously is the question, right? What is the definition of closer? What is the definition of closer? Does that mean 13 down to 12, or does that mean 13 down to 10? Right? Because with Kremlin, it's like around, I think, 13 kilometers. If I'm not mistaken. Right? So, like, what is the definition of closer? Is it 1 kilometer closer? Is it 3 kilometers closer? And imagine playing Soviet when Sun Yat-sen exists. Yeah, that's actually kind of like a crazy comparison, isn't it? Range Colombo before all buffs. Yeah, 100%. Colombo on launch was good. The Colombo on launch was good, but it required a different mind. Like, people would play it, it would shotgun people, and they'd cry. And it's like, yeah, you can't give a sap spammer good dispersion. So at some point we all knew that, and then we all forgot, I guess. I don't know. Changes to test ships. Oh, brother. Buffed. Guarantee it. Percent of non-citadel damage. Oh, okay. 60% improved healing efficiency. Are we fucking for real, Wargaming? 90 seconds. Guys. It has the fastest shells in the game. And it shoots 12 shells every salvo. How the fuck are you losing progress on your combat instructions? How are the super testers losing combat progression? You have the fastest shells in the game and you have 12 of them. It's physically impossible to miss every shell in a salvo. It's physically impossible. Like, at least in Maine, the shells are so slow that you could conceivably miss someone across the map. Like, they are slow enough that you could conceivably actually, or with Wisconsin, right? You have 9 shells, super accurate, they're kind of slow. You could shoot a guy at 23 kilometers in Wisconsin and completely miss. How would you ever completely miss in this ship? It is Slava shell speed with 12 guns. How would you ever fire a salvo with no hits connecting? 90 seconds. You can miss twice. You can miss twice, brother. Holy fuck. I mean, like, I know we rag on the super testers, but are they literally the worst players in the game? Like, is it a requirement of the program to send in a clip of you just sucking the fattest cock known to man at this game? Is it a requirement to be completely dog shit at the video game to get in the super test program? How in the fuck, man? The heal was already improved. Why would you even need this? Am I tripping? The heal is already, like, improved, is it not? It's already 60 seconds. Why the fuck would you ever need it back faster? It's better than a Montana heal that happens in This thing has 74-second heal cycles. Like, why would you ever need the... Like, I'm being dead serious. Like, who does this even help? How would you need the heal back faster? What? Like, don't you already heal so fast that you, like, can never constantly heal? Well, you know, there was a time when Vermont handled like this thing. And Vermont was one of the best battleships in the game. I always use buff in quotes. Vermont got nerfed. I will die on this fucking hill. If you were a good player, the day Vermont got buffed is the day you lost your interest in playing Vermont. Because OG Vermont was my favorite ship in the game. You just sat in the middle of the map and you nuked everything in sight on cooldown. It was pure addiction. New Vermont is a handholdy, fuck cruisers, zero skill to play, BB pacifist. And I despise it. But there was a time where Vermont was just a brick. Like, the reason why Vermont is called the brick is because it used to be a brick. This thing handles like OG Vermont. But, like, how would you need this, guys? I mean, can we be for fucking real? You have a 21% heal, right? You have a 21% heal. You take, because it's a battleship, you take this skill on it. So you have a 23% heal. And because you have no health in Septumbro, like, if you tank a million pot, you're down to a 50-second heal. So, like, you tank a million potential, you have a 50-second heal cooldown that is going to give you better efficiency, and it like, rips the HP back instantly. Like, I don't even see how you can make use of this. Legitimately. I don't even know how you make use of this. Like, how bad at the game would you have to be for this to, like, meaningfully increase your survivability? You know do you see what I'm getting at? Like, if you push in and you get nuked for 30k, in 15 seconds you max out your healing, and then 50 seconds later you can heal again. Like, how rapidly would you have to lose health in this ship? And it's so slow that, like, you can't even get in the shits. You can't even get into the shits in this boat. You know what I mean? Like, if you try to sprint at a cap, like, it's going to take you 6 minutes to get there. Get set on 4 fires, 2 floods, while broadside to his lava. Yeah, basically. Is Pan Am, so it has to be played secondary? Yeah. The initial... Okay. I mean, sure. Yeah. Okay, so what have we done? We've given this thing 0.1 better Sigma. So it's gone from 1.9 to 2.0 Sigma. Or 1.8 to 1.9, which is, I can't remember. It's got a 0.1 Sigma buff. It's got a remember, guys, this is substantial. This is 20% extra recovering of pen damage, right? Relative. It's 20% more. So if you get smashed for 50k by pen only Montana salvo, instead of getting 25k back, you now get 30k back. That's kind of a big deal. Especially with a ship with a heal this overtuned. It's fucking I just you have to be the worst player in the game to get in the super test program. That's all there is to it. You have to send in like a montage of you sucking cock to get in this program. That's the only explanation. Okay. The initial concept of this looked like the worst ship in the game. So this hopefully got buffs. Because this thing was like a 0.5 km stealth gap DD. Based on player, we have decided to shift while maintaining its core idea. Will no longer be able to launch torpedoes without being spotted. I think originally it had like 7 km torps and like 6 something detect. Improved survivability and heavy repair. So it's just another Chateau Renault. So it's Chateau Renault 2.0. Okay. An enhanced engine boost. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh brother. Okay. Oh my god. That's right, it had Kaba torps. That went 6-8. So you get a Lucian heal with 75% recovery. And now you get fast as fuck 6 km torps. Oh my god, man. Kaba mentioned. So it's another. So now it's like just a pure 1-for-1 griefer. It's just another Chateau Renault. But like arguably maybe better at YOLOing. How fast did this thing go? It should be. It's not even in testing at all yet. What was this thing? Peredovoy, right? Isn't that what it was called? Search. Why even have a search feature, Wargaming? Like, for fucking real. Oh, that's the wrong one. I mean, this thing was. So it's just now the most. It's just another 1-for-1 king. Holy shit. Just what the game needed, guys. Just what the game needed was another 1-for-1 king. Already need 13 cam range. Why? I don't know. Why is this in Chateau Renault in the game? Why does Wargaming introduce ships that are just custom designed for one dog ship player to grief one enemy player? While the following changes, we want to bring this tech tree branch in line with other ships of the nation, as well as increase the range of possible targets. No, we don't, Wargaming. We don't want to do that. And the ability to combat various enemies in no, we don't want that. Torpedoes received a significant adjustment. They retain their low speed, high degree of concealment. Their damage was altered to make. Oh no. Okay, what did they do to Calvi? Yeah, it has sap now. Okay. So it pens 34. Whoa! What? What the fuck? We want to. You're not You're just buffing it. What do you mean? We want to bring. You're just giving it a gigantic buff. You're just making the ship 30% better. What do you mean? 19.9. Holy Jesus. The ship is fucking demonic already, by the way. The ship is already demonic, guys. So the HE... Remember, they haven't changed the reload. So this is now SAP that does 40% more damage. So it now has SAP with 40% more damage output. So you're now up to like 60,000 SAP DPM. And then you have a main battery reload booster that triples your DPM. So now you have like 150,000 SAP DPM, which is like real DPM. That's pretty cool. And then yeah, you get single launch Rigolo torps that now hit for 21,000 damage. It's single launch Rigolo stealth torpedoes that hit for 20. Because remember, guys, they hit for 19.9, but subs also have a captain or an upgrade. What the fuck am I doing? 19.9. You have a 7% upgrade. 21,293 damage per torp. Single launch. God tier reload. Remember, you get all the torps reload at the same time. This is very important to remember. All the torpedoes reload at the same time. And you can get the torp reload down to like 50 seconds. So, 8 seconds. Oh, and also, hang on, my bad, guys. My bad. Because you also have a combat instruction that makes you go fast as fuck and give you an even better torpedo reload. And that got improved. So now with the reload booster active, you have like legitimately competitive DPM that pens cruisers, and you have 8 21,300 torps every 50 seconds with a way to get that reload down to 40 seconds. Now, what's really funny about these ships, though, okay, is like, so basically this is kind of going to give you, like, the play style of K1, but with a god tier gun, right? But what's really funny, guys, is that the smoke reloads in 80 seconds. The smoke reloads in 80 seconds, and it lasts for 50 seconds. So the theoretical nerf to this ship is it has low diving capacity, but it has a 1.5 unit recharge rate. So here's how this ship works, okay? You can dive for whatever. You run out of battery, okay? And then you're forced to surface. But when you surface, you have a smoke that lasts for 50 seconds. But while you're in the smoke that lasts for 50 seconds, your battery recharges at 1.5x. So in the 50 seconds that you're smoking, you get 75 units of battery. You then dive for 75 seconds, and you're forced back to the surface. But the smoke reloads in 80 seconds. So you can be unique among all submarines, permanently unspotted the entire game. Permanently unspotted the entire game. You are either always in smoke on the surface or submerged long enough to reload the smoke. So you are permanently. And what's really extra funny is the reload booster only takes 100 seconds to cool down. So basically, and it lasts for 30 seconds. So half the game you're gunboating out of a smoke, half the game you're underwater like a normal sub. It's really cool, honestly. I find it really, really, really cool. And you're also fast, which is also very funny. Pretty cool. Yeah, the smoke will let people know where to send the planes, but with you're also gonna permanently grief enlarge propeller shaft, right? So like the ship is going to permanently benefit from enlarged propeller shaft as well. This game just completely died, I guess. There we go. I just had to put a gun to its head, right? So if you look at submarines, oops, those are destroyers. Do I have any? No, I don't have anything trained. Okay, let's put this one on, right? So enlarged propeller shaft works when you have less than 50% of your battery, which means every time you're in the smoke, you'll have this working for you. So you're gonna go 40 knots. And then so you have your 29 knots base, right? Your 29 knots. You run the speed flag, you have enlarged propeller shaft. But then your combat instructions give you a 15% boost. So you can go 41 knots on the surface, and you're always going to be using this because it's like uniquely designed to always have that active. So you can go about 40 knots on the surface. You have about 200,000 SAP DPM while you're in your smoke. And then when your smoke ends, you can always submerge. Yeah. Now, K1 is better acceleration, which is part of why it's so hard to hit. So you see this? This has bad acceleration, kind of like Surcouf. Well, no, nowhere near as bad as Surcouf. It's like halfway. So it's not quite as good at accelerating as K1. Right? And K1 has a high power to weight. So like K1 is always fast because of its power to weight and better acceleration. You won't be as fast as K1, obviously, but you will be like consistently going 30 knots. So you're still going to have to even though you're going to know where it is because of the fuel smoke, you are still going to have to lead a 30 knot sub, which if they pay attention, you're never going to hit them. Obviously. But so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, I would say. Yeah, I mean, it's just a complete griefer ship. Also, you see how fast it dives, right? It has improved diving rate, improved recharge rate as well. So, yeah, unless, if you're not in a situation where like a battleship can airstrike you, you can like pretty much you're just like a outrageous griefer boat, basically. So that is exciting stuff, I think. Homing torps now do 12,000. And those torps were like actually usable, right? They weren't like K1. Yeah, they go 10. They go 10. Yep. Uh-huh. Interesting. What's the concealment on this thing? Is it at least terrible? No, it's not. It's not terrible. It's actually quite good. Oh, brother. I mean, why, man? Why? Why, dude? Oh my god. Fuel smoke on a sub. Fuel smoke on a sub. Oh yeah, because like it's extra bad, right? Because like if you're in a destroyer and you surface spot a sub and you shoot at it, it can dive. Then you have ships like Surcouf, where if you shoot at it, they can shoot back and do good damage to you. Then you have this, which can shoot back and do good damage and use a fuel smoke. So like if you're in your destroyer, you're in your Holland, this outspots you. So you're pushing in your Holland. This spots you. You shoot. it smokes, it reload boosts, it has 180,000 sap DPM, and you're spotted by its teammates, and it can kill you for free. Really cool. And unlike Surcouf, this has sustained DPM. Because this fucking reload booster lasts for 30 seconds. So for 30 seconds, it has like hybrid gunboat DPM against you. It's very cool. Very, very, very cool. And even if it surfaces on 0 battery, one smoke will recoup enough battery to reload everything, right? Like, because the way sub diving works is if you're on the surface for 50 seconds of smoke, you'll get 75 seconds of diving. But remember, it doesn't force you up right away. I forgot it. I forgot it had a heal, bro. I literally forgot it had a fucking heal. Jesus Christ. So actually forgot, my bad. So in the 50 seconds you're smoking, you will gain 75 seconds of battery, but remember, that's when it forces you back up. So you're going to dive to max depth. That 75 seconds underwater will actually last you like 85 to 90 seconds. So when you are forced back to the surface, you're going to have this back. You're going to have the reload booster back. You're going to surface, you're going to rip the smoke, rip the reload booster. 20 seconds after this ends, you're going to dive. You're going to be underwater for 80 plus seconds. When you resurface, you're going to have this back again. So if you're a destroyer, every time you force this thing back to the surface, it'll have smoke and it'll have reload booster back. Yeah, there is sulfa. And so, like, obviously, because what you're going to do is you're going to run... You're not going to run that. It's no, it's an upgrade, right? An upgrade. Where is it? You could run this, but like I don't think that you would. I honestly think that you just take gun mod. I mean, legitimately, I think legitimately you just take gun mod on it because you have real DPM. You have real DPM and you can constantly use it. So I honestly think you would take gun mod. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, it's kind of crazy because U4501, right? Like, all U4501 does, the sole thing it does is park on the bottom of the ocean and grief people. But, like, why can't you just do that in Calvi? You know what I mean? Like, Calvi is way faster because Calvi doesn't have to be underwater. Like, it has really good guns. Obviously, it has no hydrophone, but it gets 9 km sub surveillance. And it's like, let's say if all you want to do is park on the bottom of the ocean, if all you want to do is fidget spin grief people, like, it's almost as good at that anyway. I don't know, dude. Yeah, these new subs, Archerfish, K1, Surcouf, and now this. Like, don't get me wrong, I do not want them to buff U4501. But like, there's really no reason to play the OG subs. Like, all of the initial crop of subs are power crept into oblivion by the 4 most recent submarines. Yeah, I mean, the fundamental problem with submarines is they're very boring to play. So, how do you make submarines fun? Well, you make them like Archerfish, K1, Surcouf, and this. You make them really fast on the surface, and you give them guns. So that makes them a lot more fun to play. But how do you give a sub a gun and not make it just feel bad, right? Like K1 has a gun, but it's just terrible. And so, like, in order to make a ship, in order for a sub to be fun, I think you, like, almost definitionally have to make it overpowered. I don't think that you can make a balanced or weak sub fun. I think the only reason a ship like Surcouf is fun is because it has like the crazy gun power. If you took the guns away from Surcouf, no one would ever, even if you juiced the torps, no one would ever play it. I mean, Surcouf can do things that no destroyer can do. Like there is no destroyer in the game that can completely free position flat on the broadside of a Moskva and dev strike it. There's no destroyer in the game that can do that without getting spotted. Like it can do things that no DD can do. Crazy. Well, that looks exciting. I can't wait personally. I personally cannot wait. It also might be like low key the best anti sub in the game. Because think about it, right? When you're in a sub versus sub battle, what tends to happen is like you're usually both on the same plane, right? Like if I'm in a K1 and I'm fighting another K1, what happens is we both are on the surface. We run into each other on the surface. If he dives, he can't afford to dive because I can sub-surveil him. I can't afford to dive because he can sub-surveil me. But if we both sit on the surface spotting each other, we take damage. So what we do is he dives and I dive. He radars me, I radar him, and we both try to dodge airstrikes. But in Calvi, you have the best sub-surveillance in the game, which is 9 km minute duration sub-surveillance. And you're fast. And you can be dark on the surface. So you might end up being the best anti-sub in the game because you can force the enemy sub to surface by radaring him, but he cannot force you to be spotted on the surface. Like you always have an option. If you and the enemy sub are on the surface, you can fuel smoke and he can't. So like you always have a way of preventing the enemy sub from spotting you, right? It's kind of interesting. Like, or maybe it's not so much that you're going to be the best anti-sub. It's more that you're probably going to be the most immune from enemy subs fucking you because you have the unique ability to be on the surface and undetected no matter what. Smoke bot your teammate in and then you just dive. Yeah, uh-huh. That would be pretty funny. What is new in the armory? Oh, God, get it off my fucking screen, man. That's kind of a yikes, though. That's kind of a yikes, dude. I'm trying to remember, how do you activate the F key? So I don't think ship tool tells you, does it? Wait, this is like a big heal. 20% heal, is that normal? Yeah, it is normal. Okay. Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. $19. Thank you much, Mr. Icon. On a scale of 1 to 69, how excited am I for our 2-year anniversary? I'd say a solid I'm not going to say it out loud. It's a number that's too short of 69. Not going to say it. Wow. Yeah, this is a fundamental, like, misunderstanding of game design, and wargaming is not unique to this. Rainbow Six Siege used to do this too. They used to have this idea that every operator needed to be viable. That is not true. Every ship in this game does not need to be good. It is totally fine for a bunch of the ships to be bad, and then the rest be balanced to strong. That is totally fine. The problem is, submarine mechanics are so innately unfair, but submarines are so innately bad. Because at the end of the day, you're in, like, a Shima with no guns on the typical sub, right? Like, the typical sub, it's like a Shima going half speed with no guns. Dog shit. So how do you make a sub good and worth playing when it has game mechanics that are innately unfair? How do you do that? Can't. I mean, that's the answer, is you can't. Like, how do you make U-2501 a overall good ship? Well, you can't. It would just be broken. Because if you're bow in, U-2501 can torp you from outside your strike range, right? Like, it's kind of unique among subs where, like, you can't do anything against it. You know, if you're bow in your Kremlin, and a 2501 can just sit 12 kilometers away from you and just spam ping you all game long, and there's nothing you can do about it. Every 10 seconds, a 10,000 damage torp that cannot miss you is going to hit you. Like, there's nothing you can do. So, if you were to make U-2501 good in all situations, it would just be like the most broken ship in the game, right? And they at least understood that with the original sub design. It's like, okay, in 10% of situations, subs are brokenly overpowered and there's no counterplay. And it's like, that's enough, right? I mean, that's already too much, but that's enough. They don't need to be good at fighting destroyers. Like, and that's the problem. Is wargaming wants these subs to, like, be good, be able to do something at all times. Like, no. They don't need to always be able to impact the game, because when they can impact the game, they're just turbo overpowered. Like, K1 is insanely broken, but there are games where there's nothing you can do in K1, right? Like, if the enemy team has long-range hydro, and your battleships don't support you in K1, there's nothing you can do. The solution is not to make K1 better in that situation, because that's the trade-off you get for when you're on a flank with no hydro. You just sail at 45 knots at periscope depth and you nuke people with gearing torps in their mouth all game long. Like, that's the price you pay for that ability, is a daring pushes you and there's nothing you can do. A battleship and a sub are working together to push you, there's nothing you can do. That's the price you pay for dumpstering people in certain situations, right? Like, I feel like this is basic common sense. But what they're trying to do with the design of a ship like Calvi is they're trying to make it always decent. But the fundamental mechanics of submarines are unfair to play against. But they're trying to make it so, like, okay, are you forced to be on the surface? Well, you get a fuel smoke and competitive DPM. Are you underwater? Well, you get, like, good torpedoes. You know what I mean? Like, they're always trying to do this. And like, you're just going to be able to be at periscope depth all game. Like, that's the thing with Calvi. Is, like, as long as there's not radar, what you're going to be able to do is just sit at periscope all game long spamming torps. And then when you run out of battery, you surface 2 meters, fuel smoke, shoot your guns, recharge your battery, go back to griefing people at Periscope. Yeah, I would love if Holland had like real ASW. I think that'd be super interesting. Because it would also synergize with Holland's anti-air roll, right? You are like the anti-cancer class boat. Yeah, I would love it. I would love if Holland had like by far the best ASW on any DD in the game. I think that'd be great. Because I mean, number one, the ship is ass, but then also like you're taking it for a specific role, which is cucking subs and CVs. Whereas right now, Holland is like completely defenseless against subs because of the fucking horrific, the horrific ASW that it has. Boys, that was a brutal couple devblogs. I'm not gonna lie, that was tough. That was not good. Yeah, 100% Eritech. 100%. That'd be really cool. But no, fuck it. Wow. That was not. I mean, like, obviously, new ship devblog out. Oh my god, bro. Right now, right now? Holy shit, it's hot off the presses, boys. Oh, Pan American. Oh boy. I'm scared. I'm scared. As teased in our roadmap video, brand new branch of Pan American destroyers. Historical designs that served across multiple South American navies. There it is. It is. Do you guys know how exhausting it is to always be right? Do you know how exhausting it is to never be wrong? God damn it. God damn it. I literally said this yesterday that it's so bizarre how broken the Spanish captain is going to be on Alvaro. The only logic is they're making it overpowered to sell a premium. I literally said this 18 hours ago. God damn it. Okay, alright. AP focused gameplay. Powerful tools. Significantly increase their damage output in multiple ways. Okay, well, we just go to the tier 10. We don't care. We just skip straight to the tier 10. You know how we be. 20 de julio. Oh no. By Sweden. Okay. Scared, guys. Okay, so they're Holland guns. 12-7 range. 6 of them with 4-second reload. Okay. It's AP only. 2100 damage, 825. One rack of okay, so basically no torps. Okay. Oof. Really strong flak though. Okay. Very slow. Very maneuverable. Getting down to like 6-3 detect. Okay. Of course. Oh boy. 33. A third more damage. And you just need to hit 25 shells to get your combat instructions. Normal DCP, normal engine boost, normal repair party, heat battery reload booster. Oh my god. What in the fuck? Okay. You have a 4-second reload. You get 6 shells. You get 2100 damage a shell. You're going to run heavy AP. Reload mod. Fearless Brawler, because you have no smoke. 250,000 AP DPM base with the build. This lasts for a minute. Oh, okay. It's a toggle on and off. Of course it is. Just how many fucking gimmicks can we fit into this bad boy? All right, so Jesus Christ, bro. 350,000 AP DPM with the booster going. And then combat instructions. 460,000 AP DPM. That's pretty cool. Now, what are the AP characteristics, right? This is kind of what really matters, right? Does it really say? Okay, here we go. Strong AP shell with excellent ricochet angles. Okay, so British ricochet angles. Low base damage per minute. I mean, like, I guess. Okay. High arming threshold. Ah. Okay. But, hang on. What does that really mean? Because does it have artificially inflated arming fuse threshold? This is a serious question though. Because like Holland, these are Holland guns, right? 120s. Holland AP arms on 20 because AP by definition arms on 1/6 caliber unless it's improved. So what do they mean by high I'm weirded out by them saying that. Does that mean that they're going to artificially for the first time ever increase the threshold of AP? No, because it's even saying against lightly armored targets. Or does Wargaming consider this high? See, this is why these devblogs are difficult to figure out because the typically tier 10 destroyers have 19 millimeters of armor. And so if a destroyer is like if a Shimakaze is perfectly flat to Holland, the AP does not arm, right? So is Wargaming saying high arming threshold because they consider 20, which is more than 19, high? That's what I assume they're thinking. That's what I think is happening. Is Wargaming just thinks 20 is high arming threshold because they don't understand that if a DD is just angled 5 degrees off flat, you'll arm, right? That's what. So it'll basically be like Z52 AP, where you still like, in Z you always shoot AP at DDs, right? Even though when they're perfectly flat, it can overpen. You still always use it. Um, Interesting. But I don't really hate it. I mean, like, sure, it's a crazy amount of DPM, but like, it's AP. You can mitigate the damage. You're I have no issue with Druid guns, for example, right? Because like getting nuked by Druid is in fact a skill issue. That doesn't mean the ship can't be very obnoxious to deal with. It can, but like, if you don't want Druid to kill you in 20 seconds, you just angle to it, and it takes 2 minutes to kill you. Um, so you need 25 hits to get combat instructions, but you're going to be firing 6 shells every 3 seconds. So, like, realistically, you're going to take, like, 15 seconds to get the buff. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna, yeah, I mean, it's gonna have minnow angles, probably for sure. They go out of their way twice to say how good the angles are. I would assume this. Because they don't use this terminology, right? This terminology of excellent AP angles, like, that is not used for Des Moines, for example. Like, hang on. I guarantee you it's not used. We go to the armory. And we go to cruisers. And you go to, let's go to an American ship. Stalin, Commissar, Salem. Okay, go to Salem. Right? You go to, it just has reduced chances. Like, that's typically the term they've always used, is reduced chance to ricochet. I've never read excellent AP ricochet. Like, I've actually never read that in a Devblog. Like, they go out of their way to say how great the ricochet angles are. Excellent ricochet angles. Very sharp angles. Like, that to me, that's Minotaur or better angles. Minotaur minimum angles is what I would say. Okay. But again, right? Again, why tier 9? Stop wargaming. I mean, it's slow, right? It's very slow. Turns great, but it's very slow. It does not have a lot of health. It normal speed boost, normal heal. Yes, the DPM is astronomically high for up to a minute a game, but it's AP only. I'm kind of okay with it. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm actually kind of okay with it. It's not super stealthy. It honestly looks pretty balanced. I would say it looks pretty balanced, honestly. Like, the torps suck. Very high DPM with the build, but AP only. Slow. Reasonably big. No vision. No smoke. It's gonna get buffed, guys. I hate that I'm gonna say that it's gonna get buffed. Okay, the ship's getting buffed. What is it gonna get? I'm gonna guess they either let the AP arm on, like, everything. They give it, like, Druid AP arming. Or they drastically increase the DPM. Or they drastically increase the torps. Or they give it better survivability. Like, they're going to do something. The ship is, it's a gunboat. Gunboats aren't allowed to be bad, guys. Okay? Gunboats are not allowed to be balanced. It's 2026. It's going to get buffs. It will get buffs. And honestly, like, I could be open to it getting buffs. Because, like, why would you play this over Druid? Like, it has torps. It has what, 7 detect, right? So 6-2 concealment. The torpedoes are effectively useless. 6-kilometer torps. They're really good though. Excuse me. They are really good, but they have no range, and you only get 4 of them. So it effectively has no torps. If the guns remain unchanged, it has way worse guns than Druid. It has way less health than Druid. It doesn't get a hydro. It doesn't get a smoke. It's just 0.35 better detection. Has really good anti-air, but it's slow as shit. Also, I don't think it said anything about British acceleration, did it? I don't think so. That actually sucks. Okay, that blows. It's automatically activating the F key. That is ass. That is legitimately shit. So what you would want is to store the F key until you fight it like a DD and you really need the DPM. And then you would want to rip the F key and rip the reload booster at the same time for your like 500,000 AP DPM. The fact that that automatically activates sucks ass. Okay, that's kind of a big deal. An enhanced version that was really, I didn't notice that. Okay, hang on. It says it's enhanced repair. Didn't seem like it was. Maybe I just didn't read it correctly. Isn't that... Is that not normal? That's 1% per second for 14 seconds. That's standard schematic DD healing. It said enhanced, but it's not. Restores even... It doesn't, though. It objectively does not. No, it says restores more hit points. It doesn't even... It doesn't say improved efficiency or restores a greater percentage of penetration. Like, it says restores more hit points. That means more hit points. This is the same heal that every DD gets. 1% every second, 14 seconds base. Right? I mean, I'm not tripping, right? Like Holland, like that's the same heal Holland has, is it not? Yeah. 14% repair. Daring might have like a gimped heal. Yeah, Daring has a gimped heal. But like Holland and Smallland have 14% heals. Peredovoy has a slightly different heal because you get the same amount of health back, but it takes twice as long to get it, but you still get 14% back. I mean that's the normal heal. Ragnar, same heal on Ragnar, right? Yeah. Huh. Why did they say that? Did they forget to... Maybe they had a typo? Maybe this is supposed to be 28 or something? I don't know. I mean, the ship looks pretty bad, honestly. It's gonna get buffs. It looks balanced. Like, I don't want to say it looks bad. It looks balanced because obviously the ability for 1 minute a game have 500,000 AP DPM is so insane that like you should give up a lot for that. Remember we were just talking about how if your ship is god tier in some situations, it probably shouldn't be always good. Interesting though. But that does suck. That being automatic does really suck. Triunfante. tier 9. I just don't, guys. Why? Okay. Are you an enjoyer of close range fights? No one. No, no one is. Trades firing range and reload time for higher shell damage. Short firing range. Now, I would call short firing range on a tier 9 sub 19. Short, I would say sub 19. Alpha damage is average at longer range and becomes better at close range. Hold on, guys. Let him cook. Promoting aggressive gameplay? Hold on. Let him cook. Strong main battery potential at close range. High top speed. Limited set of consumables. Repair party and DCP only. So aka just what every battleship for all of human history had in this game. Mediocre AA damage. Okay. He's armed with 9 406s. Unique alternative firing mode. Oh, so it's an experimental ship. By sacrificing reload speed and range, she gains a significant increase in damage. Plus 10% HE, 25% AP. But remember, guys, this is going to synergize with super heavy AP Spanish Captain. So, okay. Much heavier strikes when the opportunity presents. Okay. Solid survivability. Base speed of 32.5. Respectable hit points pool, which I would say would be like 80k. Decent maneuverability, so like 900 turning, 16 rudder. He lacks strong secondary armament. Citadel remains vulnerable. Well, yeah, I mean. Okay, weird. Oh, there you go. Okay. There you go. 30-second reload, 9 guns. 1/8 Sigma BB dispersion. Okay, so nothing too weird. So a 5-second. Okay, so objectively better. 17% hit to reload, 25% buff to damage. Okay. So you will. Hey, look at that. 19 kilometers. Wow, guys. I'm like impressed. This is one of the first times I've ever read their hyperbole about a ship and it actually coincides with game design. I'm honest to God impressed. Short firing range, 19, fact check true. Average alpha damage, fact check true. Like high top speed, true. 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 Like wow. Good job, Wargaming. Good job. Impressive. Okay. Weak anti-air. They were doing so well. They were doing so well, guys. Mediocre AA damage. They were doing so well. Mediocre anti-air damage. 230 long range. 603 medium. Isn't this like the best anti-air in tier 9? I mean, the range is low. But isn't this basically the best anti-air in the tier? By far the best long DPS. By far the best medium DPS. By far the best flak. Maybe not by far the best flak, but like Near the very top. Well, and like I've said many times, I think with modern plane design in this game, like these are almost the only things that matter are mid-range and flak. Okay, it's not average maneuverable, it's a brick. So they did very well. They did very well, but it has basically the best AA in tier 9. I'm intrigued by mediocre AA damage. Because unless these numbers are all typos, this is basically the best AA in tier 9. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, the problem, like you say, with 5-2 air is, like, rocket planes never enter your AA. But then again, like, rocket planes never enter AA anyway. So I don't really knock that. Like, Nakimov skip bombers, and rocket planes never go inside of even 6 km AA anyway. So who really cares? Skip the decimal point? I don't know, dude. Very odd. Really weird. Yeah. Pair party is normal. CP is normal. I mean, I don't hate it. Like, it doesn't have any retarded survivability gimmicks, right? It promotes playing up close. Now, I think that I will say this is a giant cop out to me. Um, that is like no hit to range. I was expecting this to be like 50% or 40%. It says 19 kilometers of range. And this is 76.2%. Like, that's medium range. And there's still, like, no debate, right? Like, I'll be honest, here's what I actually thought would happen. Run range mod? Yeah, dude. Like, honestly, you would, wouldn't you? You legit would, wouldn't you? Would you run? Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would run range on this ship no matter what. Yeah. Do I have? Uh, do I mostly shoot AP that doesn't overmatch 32? Yes. The whole fucking ship is built to shoot AP only. The premium captain is built to shoot AP only. So yes. Do I have bad dispersion? Yes. Do I have bad gun range? Yes. Do I have usable range if I buff it? Yes. Do I have bad turret traverse? No. So I mean, yeah, you would just no shit run range. Yeah, I know that's true. That is true. That was very funny when you played like Oregon and you would dev strike a guy in your mouth and go insta dark. I mean, it doesn't have crazy overmatch. It doesn't have crazy dispersion. It doesn't have crazy tanking. Like, I'm pretty okay with it. By battleship standards in 2026, I'd say it seems pretty balanced on paper. I do think this could get spicy though, because the shells hit for what, 12.6? And then the premium captain has improved heavy AP. So your shells can hit for 13,860. And then you get a 25% damage buff. Woo! That is spicy, boys. That is spicy. 17,000 a shell when you use the alt fire mode. 35-second reload, obviously. No way these are Verdi guns. 836? Bro, if these are Verdi guns, that's insanely cracked, because Giuseppe Verdi has god tier AP pen. I would actually play this if this had Giuseppe guns. 830s. Ooh, Ooh, okay. Okay. Giuseppe, Kremlin. Let's throw Montana in there. Montana's down all the way down here. Look at the impact angle. They're rail guns too. They're super fast shells with high AP pen. 17k? No, but see, it's not really gonna nuke. Like, it's BB dispersion 1/8 Sigma, 9 shells, and like, it's not gonna be that bad against cruisers. I mean, like, it's a battleship, so that's debatable. But like, it's not gonna be that bad. It's gonna be pretty reasonable. The beauty of like Giuseppe guns is they're not very accurate, but you have the pen to sit BBs at range. Yeah, and Verdi does overpen cruisers up close. But it looks kind of. I mean, like, why can't we just make these tier 10 though? Like, the fact that it's tier 9 makes me not like. I kind of love the design, right? It's not tanky. It doesn't have crazy overmatch. It doesn't have crazy dispersion. It's not outrageously stealthy. Does it get a speed boost? No speed boost, right? Yeah. So it's not outrageously fast. But it's tier 9, so like, why would I play it? Why would I play this if it's tier 9? You know? Just make it tier 10, bro. Make it tier 10. I can't stand it. Who wants to play these tier 9 BBs? Especially because Spain has no tier 10 premiums, right? They just have Alvaro. Yeah, they just have Alvaro. I don't know. Does look interesting though. Does look kind of interesting. But tier 9, like, what are we doing? Oh well. And oh boy. Now that looks like a Plymouth, boys. Almirante Irizar. Tier 10. A large light cruiser for the Argentine Navy. My goodness. Oh boy. Light might seem unusual. Light cruisers are not exactly the kind of ships you would expect to carry a dangerous secondary battery, and she has a few strong arguments of her own. So how does a light cruiser built around high main battery damage per minute, enhanced AP secondaries, further improved by combat instructions, strong consumable set, hydro, DFAA, smoke, repair party, no torpedoes. No speed weak armor. Okay, hang on, let him cook. Maybe it doesn't exist to farm damage on for BBs. Let him cook. Oh my god. In the early stages, now they're going to give you gameplay advice. She can play a more traditional support role by peppering enemies with a constant stream of shells, using islands for cover or hiding in smoke. She has access to a tool that can drastically change the way she plays. Her powerful combat instructions enhances the AP performance of both her main. Okay, hang on. And her secondaries. Reinforce only her main battery, or to catch enemies off guard by boosting main guns and secondaries. Its broadside targets. This allows her to deal massive damage in a very short amount of time. Since they use low caliber AP shells, their efficiency significantly drops against angled targets. She remains a fragile cruiser. Well, she would, wouldn't she? Okay. Highly vulnerable to heavy cruisers and battleships. Though her concealment is very good, her speed is modest. Limited survivability. Limited survivability and no torpedoes. What do we think about that, fellas? Okay, let's see it. 25. So it's probably like the Pioneer hull. No health. No torp protection. Okay, 12 guns, 6-second reload, the 152s. Okay. The AA is not great. Huh? It's not even good concealment. Although her concealment is very good. I mean, for a light cruiser, is that very good? Maybe I'm tripping. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, 9.6. Okay. yeah. It is very good. Okay. Normal heal, normal DCP, normal hydro, normal def AA. Russian smoke. No torpedoes. Did they mention the AP, enhanced AP second? They don't mention the AP being improved. They mentioned the AP secondaries being improved, but this does not have improved AP, guys. This AP is not improved. 12 gun, 6-second reload. Okay, hang on. 6-second reload, you fire 10 salvos a minute with 12 guns. You do 2150. Fuck. Fuck! So again, you have Brisbane and Pioneer HEDPM. So yeah, it's Brisbane guns with worse AP damage. Wait, hold on. 900 meters per second. I didn't see anything about velocity, did we? I mean, that's just not true. That's factually incorrect, Wargaming. But I don't see any mention of the shell speed. You guys? Am I missing it? There's no mention of shell velocity. 900 meters per second initial shell speed? Huh? Let them cook. I mean, now, that doesn't necessarily mean good shell velocity, right? Because, like, Suzuya has 925 initial, but, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean you have good flight time. But that's still really fast initial. Random, I feel like I always have to ask you if you're retarded or trolling. I feel like I always have to ask. You don't pen anything. Like, you don't. Okay. Alright. This is. You. Like, are you the most ship tool brained retard that ever types in this chat, or are you trolling? Because it's one of the two. It's got to be one of the two. Tier 10 cruisers. All right, let's go to main battery. Okay, let's sort by HEDPM. All right. Now, what has less DPM and worse effective penetration? Better. Okay, hang on. Now we're getting 5. Okay. Nope. Pens 30. Pens 30. Pens 30. Pens 30. Pens 32. Pens 32. Pens 30. Okay, hang on. Pens 30. Pens 32. Okay, Pens 30. Okay. Oh, yeah. It has the worst effective HEDPM in the game in Tier 10. It is not inarguably high for a cruiser. The only cruisers with worse DPM pen way more things than you pen. What are we doing? Jesus Christ. All right. Get ASW planes. That's nice. That's nice. The A's shit, kind of. It's okay. But you are stealthy. All right, here we go. Main battery AP shell damage plus 30%. Okay, so it's a 30% buff to your DPM. Okay. Which is 120 shells a minute. The AP does 2950 because it's gimped. And then you can buff it, what was it, 33%? 30% main battery. 460. 460,000 AP DPM. So, like, with your combat instruction, now obviously you don't have improved ricochet angles or good AP pen. So, okay, these are all have way better AP shells. What's like a comparison? So you probably have like the AP effectiveness of like a Hawaii, somewhere around there. To me, it's good. It's definitely no slouch. How do you farm it? Ooh. That's a lot of hits required. Wow. That is kind of tough. 80 hits? Ooh, boy. That's realistically a full minute of shooting your guns. But you do have 30-second window. But it is a full minute of shooting your guns. Okay. So what do the secondaries look like? Okay, so interesting. So you've got 6 guns per side. Five-second reload. 12 salvos a minute. 6 guns on each side of the boat. 72 shells a minute. 2,300... Shit. 72 shells a minute. 2,300 a shell. What? Okay. That's raw DPM, not hitting DPM, guys. So if you're perfect, I see what you're saying. So if you're perfectly flat, you're still only gonna probably get 6 in the fight, though. So you've got 1 here, you've got 1 here, you've got 1 here. So like these 3 will work, and then you've got 1 all the way in the back. So if you're perfectly flat, you'll get an extra 2 shells in the fight, okay? But you typically will just only get 6. You're still overall going to only get 6. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, yeah. So 90% of the time, you're like, this firing angle, I shudder to even think what it looks like. Yeah. But it has no DPM. Or other, no, yeah. You're going to get 6 guns in the fight. What am I missing here? Like, this is 0 damage output. Uh-huh. There's no mention of improved dispersion, right? Okay, hang on. Does it say anything about the secondary dispersion? It says enhanced AP secondaries. But, like, there's no real mention of the secondaries. Yeah, I know the F key gives you a dispersion buff, but, like, that's not a very good dispersion. I mean, like, if this is the DPM, that's really bad. Like, it doesn't matter that the secondaries, or the F key buffs the secondaries. The base secondaries are so terrible. I mean, guys. Secondaries at 8 kilometers. Like, you can expect 20,000 hitting DPM. This is my point. They don't mention that the secondaries have improved dispersion to begin with. That's what I'm getting at. Like, where is the mention of the secondaries being improved? Okay, so let's give it like the super benefit of the doubt, okay? Let's pretend they're as good as secondaries can be, okay? Napoli secondaries are like basically as improved as secondaries on a cruiser can get. So let's just pretend they have Napoli's hitting Napoli's dispersion, okay? Let's just pretend. Wargaming doesn't say that they do. I'm just giving this ship like the benefit of the doubt. So let's say they have Napoli built-in dispersion on the secondaries, okay? Which they probably don't, but like this is as good as it could be. So this is the raw DPM. So you take this and you divide by 3.5. So you can expect best case scenario 47,000 AP hitting DPM. AP, by the way, guys. So like Marseille, but you can't start fires or pen angled targets. So we're expecting like Marseille secondaries at best, at very best, Marseille secondaries, but with AP shells. And then you have this buff. So you get 30% more. So that brings you up to like 70,000 hitting DPM with the AP. Now this is not quite as good as manual. So this is probably like realistically, if you guys have ever gone in a training battle and experimented with manual secondary captain skill, manual secondary captain skill roughly doubles your DPM. But this is nowhere near as good as manual secondary skill because how good are battleships? Manual secondary skill is a million times better than even this. Really, I have a captain spec for secondaries, right? Doesn't really matter. Because manual secondaries gives you a built-in 10% reload buff, a built-in 10% dispersion buff, and then a bonus 50% accuracy buff after 45 seconds. So this is nowhere near as good as manual secondaries. It's probably about half as good. So this is giving you 30% more hitting DPM. This is probably giving you like I'm going to be super generous and say 50% more. I'm going to be super generous and say another 50%. So, like, absolute best case scenario, assuming Napoli hitting accuracy, assuming high enough AP pen to pen even BB up to pen upper belts at say 10 at 8 kilometers, and being extra generous, you can probably expect like 100k hitting DPM. That's like absolute dream scenario is 100k hitting DPM with the F key active, but if the angle you get 0. So pure dog shit. Pure unadulterated dog shit secondaries. Useless secondaries. What's the gun caliber? .120, so flat deities won't arm them. No torps. No armor. No healing. No DPM. Are we being pranked right now? Are we being pranked by Wargaming? And it's not like a fuel smoke or something where you could like drive by with secondaries. It's just a normal like Russian style smoke. I just legitimately feel like there has to be typos here. This can't be it. Right? Like, surely we didn't make a Pioneer with no torps, a worse smoke, no radar, no subsurveillance, no good ASW planes, no improved acceleration, and give it AP dogshit secondaries? Like, surely we didn't do that. Here's what I'm gonna hope, okay? Look at the gun range with me for a second, guys. See the gun range 17.8, 900 meter. Here's what I'm gonna hope is this has like rail guns. I do think if this has rail guns, it could be salvaged a bit. Because like, well, no, but see that at the end of the day, you only pen 25. You don't pen anything. So like, do you run IFHE? What's the fire starting on this bitch? Let's see this, okay? You shoot 120 shells a minute. Oops. It's not good, right? 11 fires a minute. It's not great. And you don't pen anything. I mean, it is a special kind of shit. You have no ability to fight cruisers. Now, here's what I'm thinking, though. What I'm thinking is it's got railguns. But okay, so what? So if it has railguns, then why do you have railguns long range, but secondaries to drive by, but a stationary smoke, but no torp? So like you would never ever want to fight anything at close range because if it's a cruiser you can't pen it. If it's a battleship you can't torp it. And I mean, like, I'm making so. In order for this ship to be good, not even good, in order for the ship to be worth a fuck, it has to have railguns, which it doesn't say that. It makes no mention of the shell velocity. We're just assuming based on the range and the initial velocity. But like initial velocity of 900 on a cruiser does not mean anything, right? Like I want to be clear. Like, if you look at initial speed of HE shells, right? Like, these ships all do have railguns, but like Bremen is 960. The shells aren't that great, right? Utrecht has 960. The shells are very good, right? And so like when you get down to 900, like Svea does not have good shell arcs. They're not terrible, right? But like you could get anything in this range, right? You could get railguns, or you could like Yodo has 930 default shell velocity, right? That's kind of what I'm getting at here. You have 25 millimeters of pen. You don't have good fire starting. I feel like you would, in fact, just have to run IFHE. I mean, yeah, but you guys are making like crazy assumptions. I mean, it's still dog shit with 30 HE pen. It's only good. Here's what would have to happen for the ship to be good. Railgun shell velocity doesn't say that. This has to be a typo. These have to have Napoli built-in dispersion. Makes no mention of that. And even then, it's not good. It's just like borderline playable. You don't have any torpedoes. You have no torpedoes. You have no radar. You have no armor. You have no improved healing. You don't have great maneuverability. You don't have great AA. You don't have a great smoke. Like, assuming railguns, like, and by railguns I mean like Utrecht shell arcs at max range. That like railguns, right? Assuming railguns, assuming HE pen typo, assuming built-in Napoli accuracy, assuming excellent AP pen from the guns, like we are making a million assumptions and barely getting a usable ship. We've coped and yeah, and that's essentially what we're all doing. We're like coping. We're like, okay, surely that's a typo. Surely the shells do have railguns velocity. Surely the secondaries do have the best accuracy of any secondaries in the game by default. Surely the AP has like super juiced AP pen to like farm upper belts. Surely. Like we're making all of these cope assumptions to end up with a ship that is ass. Like let's be for real, it's still dog shit. 80 hits required to get your combat instructions. Guys, that's a minute of shooting guns in this thing. You have 12. You shoot 120 shells a minute. You're in a cruiser. You're gonna hit half your shells. You're gonna hit on average half your shells. So you're gonna spend the entire duration of one smoke farming one battleship to get the F key. Like, what? There's no mention of shell speed, and there's no mention of any kind of like improved AP. But it's hard to say, right? Like, what if this AP has minnow pet? What if this AP has minnow characteristics? This ship would be fucking like okay. Imagine railgun shell velocity and Minotaur AP characteristics. All of a sudden, this ship is fucking cracked, right? But like, it doesn't say that. This ship could be insane, given like minnow AP shell characteristics on Utrecht velocity. Could be cracked, but none of that is mentioned. Like we're literally coping that there's hidden stats that make it amazing, right? But imagine Henri shell velocity and Minotaur AP characteristics. Like, could be fucking wicked. But there's zero mention of that. There's no mention of the main. The only even hint of anything being abnormal is enhanced AP secondaries. What does enhanced mean? Right? Like, to me, enhanced is the range. Like, you can make a strong argument that that's enhancement is right here. These are all enhanced secondaries because they have bonus range, right? So what does enhanced mean? And I mean, again, even hoping and coping into this thing having the same dispersion that Napoli gets, right? Like, Napoli has like a 3.5x ratio of raw to hitting. And even if it had that ratio, it would not have good DPM. But it gets no torps, no armor, and no healing, and no DPM with main guns. Like, huh? Dog is just yell. I hear this dog yelping in the background. So we're there's a lot of hoping and coping. Um, and even if all of the hoping and coping comes true, it's like okay. Imagine this, guys. You load up, get out your wallet, okay? You send Wargaming a cash money payment of 130 United States schmeckles. You load up in your fancy new Tier 10 cruiser. And the Giga Chad on the enemy team has loaded up in his Triunfante. And he just runs at you. And you smoke up and he runs at you. And you cannot torpedo him. Your HE cannot pen him anywhere. Your AP secondaries ricochet on 100% of his hull. And he closes the distance. He runs you down in your smoke. You have no torpedoes. And he fires 9 17,000 damage AP shells that overmatch your 25mm bow. It's fucking cinema. It's absolute fucking cinema, boys. Run down like a dog in the street by a Tier 9 battleship. 5.9 smoke fire, so like not great. I mean, normal. This is like pretty normal for the gun caliber. Like good turning, but mediocre rudder. Yeah, but like Kushiro's not even that bad. I mean, on paper, Kushiro is way better than this. Better guns, better smoke, better torps. More survivable. Yeah, I will agree. I don't think Kushiro would be overpowered with the OG heal. I think it could definitely still have that heal and be fine. But like, bro, this is rough. Or like, okay, let's cope some more, guys. Maybe this is 12%. Veneer, Random's been typing in this chat for a year and a half, and we still don't know. He legitimately cannot be. We cannot figure him out. I have never seen someone to so consistently type things on the razor knife edge of trolling or mental retardation. Honestly, he's a master of his craft. So now that can't be 12% because like one salvo could farm it. So that actually must be 1.2. Yeah, I don't think we can cope out of that typo. But that is 80 shells, guys. That is 80 shells. And you're gonna on average like on a big target like a battleship, you're gonna be hitting like maybe 7 or 8 shells a salvo. Goodness. We have to be. I mean, we're not missing anything. It really just is shit. really just is shit. I mean, I don't know. I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know. Very odd. very, like, what is the thought process? Right? Assuming that everything we're hoping and coping about is comes true, right? We're pretending they made it. We're pretending that's a typo. We're pretending it has railguns out to max range. We're pretending it's got the most accurate cruiser secondaries in the game. We're pretending the AP like at least has some improved ricochet, but it probably doesn't because it even says like they drop against angled targets, right? So like they're not going to be improved. So like they're just AP secondaries with like 50k hitting DPM. Like that's just all we're getting. Gonna have to get your credit card out for gold whiskey. Yeah, wargaming is pretty smart, guys, because whiskey launched for as a basically free dockyard ship. All the community contributors said it was like okay at best, so nobody really got it. And then now they release it for schmeckles, but everyone knows it's broken now. So very cool. Wow. I don't know, dude. This is very odd. Like, just read this. She has the potential to deal huge damage at close range, but in return, she is like, this just isn't true. Like, Minotaur has more main gun APDPM than this thing has with the main guns and the secondaries and the F key. And Minotaur has that on hyper maneuvering, god tier torpedoes, and god tier AP shell characteristics. Or like Colbert. Doesn't have the smoke, but like Smoke Minnow is stealthier, more survivable, more DPM, even factoring in if you could use the secondaries in this. God tier torps. I mean, like, what are we doing? Well, they're 120s, right? And it specifically says, right? It specifically says low caliber AP shells, they drop against angled targets. Like, there's no reason to assume the AP has high pen. I would assume it has the pen of 120s. So Holland. Logically, it makes no mention otherwise. It's Holland AP. So, like, yeah, if you can get, say, 5 kilometers from a Minotaur, like, you could theoretically rip it apart with Citadels, right? But again, like, why would that matter? If you got this close to a fucking Minotaur, you would just dev strike it with, you just kill it in 2 shots anyway. Or any ship with better main battery AP DPM would just kill it anyway. So I mean, like, why is that even that wouldn't even be a selling point for me. It's really weird. The only thing that I can see saving this ship is if this is like a trend, a watershed moment in cruiser secondary accuracy. Right? Like, currently, the best it gets on cruiser secondaries is Napoli. You have three and a half times the raw DPM is hitting DPM. This is like the best it gets for built-in dispersion on cruiser secondaries, right? So like maybe this cruiser gets double the accuracy. Like the default dispersion on these secondaries are so good that the hitting DPM is half the raw DPM. I could like that could save this and make it worth using. Very interesting. Like that's what it would take though is railguns, typo, crazy high AP pen, crazy high built-in dispersion. Like way better even than Napoli built-in dispersion, like double Napoli built-in dispersion. Um, and then like also typos down here because this is This is a minute and a half of shooting your guns just to get your F key. I don't know, dude. Very weird. Very weird. The duality of men. The duality of game design. A very interesting tier 9 battleship and just a horrendously dog shit tier 10 cruiser. I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, like Ram says, we're ignoring the entire concept that the ship doesn't make any sense. The concept of the ship makes no sense. Like, even if it had railguns, super juiced AP on the secondaries, twice as accurate built-in dispersion as Napo secondaries, like, even if all of that was true, you're supposed to, like, brawl without torps in a light cruiser hull. Like, it's still a Pioneer hull. Like, this is still your hull. Like, this is what you're working with. Okay.